Hey, hi everyone. I'm here with Lisa Jara, and we are going to talk about how soul-based coaching has changed her life. And Lisa, you're a certified soul-based coach, and you work with women specifically who are going through a dark night of the soul. And there's so much that we could talk about, but today you really wanted to share about how, what you love about soul-based coaching, but also how it changed your life. Shoot away. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to share my love for soul-based coaching, because since I've encountered it, I sincerely don't know what I would do without it. Because for me, soul-based coaching is more a way of living than a coaching modality, because it just matches my personal values so much. Especially that everything is already within you, within the client. Like, we all hold our own answers. It's just sometimes not so easy to get to them when we haven't been trained how to ask ourselves questions that bring the wisdom forward. And that's what soul-based coaching has allowed me to do. And I get to simply trust and let the client's wisdom lead the way to the change they want to experience in their lives. And that's just magical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so the main parts that I really love is, first of all, the aspect of self-empowerment, which is an often used word. I know it's a buzzword, but what I mean is that you are ultimately the expert on yourself. Nobody else can be that for you. And in soul-based coaching, if the client doesn't want to take the step, that's okay. It's not my role as the coach to make you take a step towards where you want to go, because next time I'm not around, what will happen if I'm not there to help you, but I helped you this time? So I just patiently wait, and I trust that the client is perfectly capable of following their own wisdom and of taking the step when they are ready, and just holding space for this. And the amazement when it happens and they finally take that step and they see, oh, wow, I have done it, is just so incredible. And it really brings forward this element of choice, because we cannot control life. I know that, and circumstances that are happening, but we can always control how we respond. And from my personal story, I know what it feels like when you feel totally powerless and as if other people are people or circumstances are in control of you. And then getting back to this element, oh, wait, I've got leeway. Even though there are certain things I can't change in it, I do have a certain leeway to choose what I want my reaction to be. And that's, I think, so important, and gives us, helps us reclaim this power of choice, and helps us make our life more meaningful and live a life on our own terms, basically. And that's this aspect of power, of our personal inner power, is so important to me.
Yeah, and I love that you're saying that. And I also love how you're tying it in with how we can really trust our clients' timing when we're just kind of keeping them in the space, into the fertile space of where things can start to happen. There is a right time, and in clock time, it doesn't have to take very long, but it's like when it's their time, that makes all the difference. Yeah. Ooh, goosebumps. Yeah. Reclaiming.
That's when they are ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah,
definitely a lot. For example, there's looking for the solution first and then dealing with the problems along the way, because we will never ignore the problem. But what happens often in our society, even, we look at the problem and we try to get away from it, always looking at the problem, which doesn't lead us anywhere. Because when you imagine a car and the navigation system, you have to tell it where to go to. You can't say, I want to go away from home. it will just, I don't know, go around the block or something, but it will never get you somewhere else. So we have to first look where we want to go. and start going, and stuff will come up and we can deal with it on the way. And that's just so much more helpful, I think. And from my experience with clients, it has been often the most important shift to get them to think of where they want to go and stop focusing on the problem. And also in my own experience, when I have been a client in soul-based coaching, that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, it's such a powerful thing, isn't it? I mean, just realizing to what extent we're actually trained to look at the problem and kind of dissect it and analyzing it and taking it apart and kind of looking at why is it there to begin with, like who was to blame or where did it come from, and actually none of that is necessarily needed to actually reach the destination that people want to go to. I love the car navigation system as a metaphor for that. Yeah, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, working with soul-based coaching, you can't not work with metaphors, so they are popping up everywhere.
Oh, yeah, there was another one. Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah, another thing is that in my personal view, it's trauma sensitive, trauma informed, and inclusive. In the sense that the person doesn't have to dive deep into their past or into any specific events. Sometimes, like, the metaphor itself already holds all of that. And by just talking about this metaphor and finding a resolution for this metaphor, a lot is cleared out in the wake of it. I had it once that a client wanted to clear her metaphorical desk. We didn't need to know what was on the desk, but she cleared it. She just put everything off it, and it helped her so much. She knew exactly what to do next after she got out of the session. And I still don't know what happened or what it entailed to have that desk cleared, but for her, it went just perfectly fine. And that's the beauty of it all. I don't need to know as the coach. I trust that my client knows exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And was it a real desk that she wanted to clear, or was that a metaphorical desk that she wanted to clear in the session?
It was a metaphorical desk, which may have involved some calls she had to do and other stuff, but we really just worked in the metaphor landscape of clearing the desk aside. It didn't help to just put the desk to the side because there was still a mess on it, so she really had to clear it. And she felt so clear on what to do next and how to clear it. That was really gorgeous.
It's such I love the lovely metaphor. I mean, our clients come up with amazing metaphors all the time because they perfectly represent their inner structure of like how things are organized within their inner system. And it's just that metaphor of clearing something. There could have been all sorts of things, like, struggles within relationships, or it could have been the way that she relates to her health, or like it could have been all sorts of stuff. But as you say, we don't actually need to know. And it's, in a way, it's like clearing her subconscious in the sense of anything that wasn't aligned with how she wanted things to be, so that things then could flow again. What a gorgeous example.
Right. And also this aspect of inclusivity, that we take the client as they are, with all their parts, the good, the bad, the ugly, without like necessarily wanting to use judgments, but just allowing the more problematic aspects to have the same value and importance. And they also want to be acknowledged and listened to. And all of that is welcome. And nothing is judged as either good or bad or more important than another part. And I really love that we see the client as a complex human being, which they are, which we all are, and let them find the resolution in this complexity of their own system.
Yeah, without them having to actually go into complex thinking. So I love what you're saying here. It's that the human beings are so beautifully put together, right? In all of their different kinds of aspects. And we don't have to take like a a shortcut and decide that, you know, this and this is the problem, and here is the plan of attack. I mean, sorry, the coaching plan of how to make it go away. But we're actually going, oh, look at all of this, and within all of this, what would you like to have happen? And from that, the client system is going to find their way of clearing desks or driving cars or whatever it is that they're going to do in their metaphor landscapes, so that this can be, the resolution can be found within their system. And it's not on that level of the logical mind, right? It's not about, oh, let's make like diagrams and things and causes and effects and all of that. No. The metaphors will speak for all of that. Yeah.
That's the thing, and it also leads into the aspect of embodiment. Like it's not in the mind, in their system, which includes the space in and around them. And that's the next part I really love about soul-based coaching, that it takes into account that stuff is also stored in our body, and our body has an own instinctual knowing about how to resolve things, and it is all taken into the coaching session by asking where a certain metaphor is or where the client is, so that like all of their neural pathways get activated.
Yeah. To me, that is still, it is like, it sounds so simple when you say it, like, oh, you just ask where, but it does not do justice to kind of the doorways that open when you know how to do this and how to work with the information that becomes available at this point. Because yes, this is kind of like, you know how reading a book is like two-dimensional stuff. This is like, I don't know, 5-dimensional. I don't know.
At least
I keep, you know, I kind of lose track of like numbers at some point, but it definitely includes movement and taste and smell, and anything that people hear, but it also includes time and time travel in some way. And so there's lots of different things that are accessible in a simple, though not always easy way.
So true. And as a coach, just being in awe of it all and going about it with a curiosity and open-mindedness, which are also like very important values of mine, to like not put into boxes, but just be curious about what you find. And like that's the basic posture that we hold as soul-based coaches. I wonder what's happening. So I really love that. And as a last point, it's rebellious. Although some people might not see it that way, but I find it very rebellious because it goes against all the isms, I call them isms, that we have in society, like patriarchy, colonialism, exploitism, racism. It counterbalances all of that because of the inclusivity and everything that we have mentioned. It takes the human being as it is in each moment.
Oh, I like that. Maybe this should be our new slogan. You know, why not join the rebellious soul-based coaching movement here? Yeah. Wonderful. So is there anything like, because all of this has impacted your coaching, right? And the way that you like to be with your clients. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about that?
I would also like to add from a coach's perspective that it has given me the freedom I was looking for, because like before I looked at different coaching modalities because I knew I always wanted to do something with talking, like as opposed to body work or something. But like nothing felt right. And because I don't want to take the responsibility, quite frankly, for getting my clients results. That's a responsibility I don't think I can take, because how can I, looking at a complex human being from the outside, ever know which tool to use in order to help them to get where they want to go? And so with the help of the questions that the clear questions that we've learned in soul-based coaching and all the other aspects to it, I'm free of this responsibility. And like my only job is to trust, which can be a hard thing in itself. But I didn't find it as hard because I completely trust that my clients hold the wisdom, they hold the answers, and I just help them navigate how to get there. So me as the coach, I can relax into the process and trust the process. And that's so freeing.
It is, isn't it? And I can just kind of hear some people thinking, what do you mean not take any responsibility for finding the answers? But it's like, if we're really, really honest, we can't ever know these answers. We can have ideas, hypotheses about answers, but actually our clients have better answers. And this is the thing that we consistently keep seeing. And so this is what you're talking about. It's like, it's not my job to find the answers here. Yeah. Gorgeous.
I mean, of course, I do have responsibility. I have a responsibility for the space I'm holding, for the space I'm creating, and that it is open and non-judgmental and has always the interest of what the client wants in mind. Of course, that's my responsibility. But apart from that, I don't make things happen. I allow things to unfold.
Yeah, by gentle nudges, by gentle invitations, by staying fully present all the time, and having what's the word? Like having very, oh, there's a word that's just kind of off the tip of my tongue right now. This like super focused attention, like super, very, very much there kind of attention. Yeah. So it's not that we're saying, oof, not our responsibility. No, it's quite the opposite. But we know what it is that we're responsible for in that coaching relationship. Yeah. Great. I think you have one more for us. Is that right?
I just could add that when I reflected on what I want to say today, I found that my personal life kind of reflects the soul-based coaching journey that we may be on with our clients, and that's very interesting. So like up until university, I always knew what the next step would be, because it was clear that I would like finish school, I would go to university, and then I finished university, and what now? And that's often a place where our clients are. What now? I'm in front of the unknown. I don't know maybe even what's right and true for me anymore, or never known it. And like I was trying to grasp things from the outside world to like have as rules to live my life by, because I felt overwhelmed by the unknown, basically. And I went into the problem mode and only looked for like, where's the next problem to solve, or just focusing on what I didn't, at the moment, not so much what I didn't want. I didn't know that I didn't want it, but I focused on the problems, and like my whole system got more and more contracted until I was at a point where I couldn't bear that anymore and said, that's not how I want to live the next 40 years of my life. That was the moment where it turned at least into there was movement. I want to get away from it, but I was still focused on what I want to get away from. And as I shared before, if you just know where you want to get away from, it doesn't really help. And when I went into a treatment center for my personal mental health, I finally found the missing piece, because I had a lot of free time that I used to be with the people that were in there and get to know them and their stories and how they did life. And it was just so interesting. And in these conversations, they felt held by me somehow and called me co-therapist in the end. And it was a really beautiful time where I thought, yeah, that's what life should feel like. Open and interesting, and not always easy, of course, but like an adventure every day. And an excitement in that. And so from that moment on, I knew where I wanted to steer my life. That should become my life. And now, a few years later, I finally managed to steer my life into exactly that direction. And so that's what we do in Soul-based coaching too. We try to find out where you want to move towards. And then we help you move toward it and deal with the problems along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much would you say soul-based coaching has been part of that journey into calling into your everyday life now what you wanted it to be?
A big part, because it was the missing piece of, like, in that treatment center, I experienced what it's like to work with the people, but I didn't know how to get them, like really get them to where they wanted to go. And that was the missing piece, was the soul-based coaching, with me being able to just trust that their answers are in them and knowing how to support them getting there.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and so a lot can happen as you're moving into Invoke Your Client's Magic, which is our 1-year soul-based coach certification program. It may just give you the life that you dream of, right? We see that for so many people. I'm so excited, Lisa, for everything that we see kind of blossoming through you. It's such a, like so good to see. Wonderful, thank you. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, or are we complete for now?
I think we've covered a lot.
We have, yeah. If people are, if you're watching and you have questions about any of this, shout it out, right? Let us know. We're here for it. And you can find Lisa. We'll add your links to wherever this video shows up. And she's happy to talk with you, work with you, but also answer questions, I think, about soul-based coaching or about
Definitely.
training. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lisa. Until we meet again. Bye, everyone.